All right. Hello, everybody. KVUE Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams here with our nightly extended update on the forecast here on KVUE Plus and YouTube Live and all of our streaming platforms. Obviously, the big thing we want to talk about, the Memorial Day weekend forecast, certainly not going to be a washout, but I do think that on Memorial Day itself, we could at least be dodging some rain and storms. I say dodge, we need the rain, right? But I know this is a weekend where a lot of folks want to be outside. And of course, we know the history of how Memorial Day has been years past here in our KVUE area. So we'll talk about that. We also want to talk about humidity, which is quickly increasing across our area this evening into tonight. So we got all of a one-day break from the humidity. All right, so let's start with this, a live view outside on this Wednesday evening. Just beautiful, looking out over downtown Austin. I love this time of day, looking out at the Pfluger pedestrian bridge. Folks are walking, jogging, just enjoying the sunshine out there. So as I mentioned, humidity is returning tonight, and then that will bring us into a hot and muggy start to the Memorial Day weekend. Friday, Saturday, even most of Sunday, I think are primarily dry, but definitely hot and muggy. Then the storm chances mainly on Memorial Day itself, so on Monday, and it remains to be seen, okay, is this a chance for some scattered storms, or is this something more widespread with maybe a severe weather component? That's the part of this forecast we'll have to watch very closely, and of course we'll keep updates coming over the next couple of days. But as of now, this is my thinking for Memorial Day weekend. Saturday, 99, rain's not going to be a problem, but it will be hot, so obviously stay hydrated and stay on top of the sunscreen if you're going to be outside Saturday. Sunday, even Sunday, just a 20% chance for a shower or a storm. Not a big deal, 98. But then Monday, right now, I have us at a 40%, which would be just some scattered kind of hit or miss showers and storms for the afternoon into the evening and a high of 95. However, I also want to show you some of the new data coming in off our European model. We're going to go through a deep dive in the data coming up here in a few moments, which is what we always do here at our extended forecast. We get into the nitty gritty. But this is a sneak peek of what the European model is showing. 1 o'clock Monday, it is pretty much area-wide rain and storms coming in. So this would be more of a, hey, let's definitely have backup plans indoors type of situation, but remains to be seen if it will be that widespread. We'll talk more about that here in a moment. Another live view, this is our Moody College Communications camera looking out over the 40 acres. This morning, humidity was low, so the temperatures weren't like crazy cool or anything, but everybody's talking about how nice it felt this morning. That's because the humidity was down. Went down to 65 degrees this morning at the airport, only 70, but it was at least a comfortable 70 for Austin Camp Mabry. Then this afternoon, still very hot, but it's a dry heat. So 94 was the high today at both the airport and Mabry, above average, but at least we're not talking records today. That record was 100 from back in May of 2022. Many of you probably remember that one. Now we're sitting at 89 in Austin. Bastrop, it's 91 for you. Still some mid-90s out in the hottest parts of the North Hill Country. Mason's at 95. Llano right now at 93. Radar right now, I have like a 10% chance for a pop-up shower through this evening. I think Bastrop County would be a place to watch for that based on the latest data, but I think we're going to be primarily dry through this evening. We'll keep our eyes on the radar, though, just in case. Here's our warm front, which is lifting through the area. So the humidity was kind of shunted down to the Gulf. Now as this front lifts north, the doors open for that Gulf humidity to work back into our KVUE area. And as that takes place tonight, this will be a familiar pattern. We're going to have low clouds. There could be some damp weather and fog in a few spots. So maybe even some reduced visibility heading out the door tomorrow morning. Temperatures much, much warmer. Won't be mid-60s. It will be mid-70s for most heading out the door tomorrow. Low clouds to begin the day. As we go at about 1 o'clock, we're up to 93. Morning clouds that will clear, so it's going to be mostly sunny as we get into the early afternoon. High temperature tomorrow about 98. And then as we get late afternoon to the evening, there's our isolated chance for some hit or miss showers and storms. But overall tomorrow, you can see the rain chance. I've only got it at 20%. So many of us aren't going to see rain at all tomorrow. But especially over the coastal plains, I do think a couple hit or miss storms are fair game. 97 at LaGrange tomorrow. Bastrop 97. Georgetown 96. Johnson City 98, Fredericksburg 95, Llano Mason 98 to 99, and it's not the same dry heat tomorrow. Humidity is going to ramp back up. So I don't think we're looking at, heat advisory type stuff, but 102, 103 type feels like temperatures are certainly fair game tomorrow also. Kyle 98, Dripping Springs and Wimberley about 97. 97 in Pflugerville, Taylor 97, Round Rock high of 97 for tomorrow also. So more on this little storm chance. Again, don't expect anything too crazy going on, but as we go into 4 or 5 o'clock, Bastrop into Fayette County, Lee County, Caldwell County, basically across the coastal plains. A few isolated showers and storms trying to bubble up, and a few of those may approach the I-35 corridor in the Austin metro as we go into the early evening hours. That would be 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Some hit or miss showers and downpours. Hey, we would take this. Every drop of rain we can get. We know this May, it started off with a decent bit of rain for us, but ever since like the 4th or 5th day of this month, it's been mainly about the record heat that we've been tracking. So during the day tomorrow, 20% rain chance. But we're also going to hold on to a 20% rain chance for the evening into the overnight tomorrow. Because of this, there's a better storm and severe risk north of our area tomorrow during the day. But any clusters of storms that develop up north, if they hold together and drift down close to us, they would be weakening on approach, but could bring us maybe an isolated storm or two even into the overnight tomorrow. So you can see here, this is 1 a.m. and then we'll go into the morning of Friday. It will be low clouds to start the day. Then as we go to the afternoon on Friday, it will be a dry day. High temperatures, though, very toasty in the mid to upper 90s still. Severe weather threat for Thursday and Thursday night, as we mentioned, is mainly to our north, but this does clip the northern hill country. We'll see. Honestly, I could see them expanding a low-end level 1 into a bigger portion of our area, but we are confident that the higher storm risk is going to be up in the DFW area, North Texas, across the Red River into Oklahoma. Level 2 risk there, of course, for our friends north of here, North Texas, Oklahoma, even into parts of like Arkansas and Missouri and Kentucky and Tennessee. It's been super, super active over the past couple of days. That storm track, though, north of our area. So another look at our Memorial Day weekend forecast. Saturday, just plan for the heat, no storms, 99. Sunday, for the most part, it's the same deal, but a little bit more of an elevated storm chance, about a 20%. That's mainly for the late afternoon and evening on Sunday, and then Monday is the day on Memorial Day where the storm chance goes up. So as of now, it's a 40%. So I showed you a snapshot of that European model earlier. Here's kind of the full model run, and we'll go through this, then we'll compare it to the GFS American model. So here's 5 o'clock on Sunday, small rain chance for the evening on Sunday. This model, though, as we mentioned, is bringing in basically an organized complex, pretty much area-wide rain and storms during the middle of the day into the early afternoon on Monday. Obviously, that would be very problematic for any outdoor plans on Memorial Day. And then this model says as we go into dinner time, it's starting to trend drier, and then we'd have, I still think, at least some small rain chances for Tuesday especially, then maybe even into Wednesday, some sort of rain around. And behind this front, it's going to be a northeast wind, so that's a cooler wind direction. I don't think we're going to be frigid or anything like that, if you couldn't tell. But I do think a couple of days with highs in the 80s, that is entirely possible. The GFS American model also brings in a pretty robust rain and storm chance for Monday, but it comes in later in the day. So our European model, look at the times. So 1 o'clock has storms coming through. GFS model says 10 o'clock, it's in the evening. So in that case, well, hey, we'd be good all day outdoors, and then for the evening, we need to keep an eye on a storm chance. Again, remains to be seen which one of these models, if any, is going to be more accurate. As far as my thinking right now, I'm increasingly confident that at least hit or miss rain and storms are in the forecast for Memorial Day. So it's at least like a 30 to 50% rain chance, but it's possible that could scale up into where it's a more organized storm risk and maybe some sort of severe weather threat. But you guys know this is going to change a couple times between now and then. Not trying to alter anybody's plans at this point. Just want to give you something to think about for Monday. Hey, if we're going to be out in the water all day, what if that storm chance goes high? How could we pivot that? Just start to think about that for Monday, and hopefully, we don't need the backup plans. But we'll keep an eye on that for Monday. Tomorrow, our rain and storm chance is 20%. Friday, Saturday, all dry. Sunday, 20%. Up to a 40% Monday, even into Tuesday, a 30%, and then still 20% into Wednesday. So it's definitely not like a washout for each of those days, but could one or two of those days bring a more widespread storm chance? I do think that's possible. Tonight, I just have a 10% chance for an evening pop-up shower or a storm in the forecast. We should be mainly dry, though. Otherwise, low clouds will increase, humidity increases, patchy fog overnight will drop down only to 75, so much muggier, warmer night tonight. Then tomorrow, morning clouds give way to our typical afternoon sunshine. I have 98. There is a 20% chance for hit or miss showers and storms during the afternoon into the evening on your Thursday, and then still 20% overnight into early Friday. Friday, Saturday, warm, muggy mornings, toasty afternoons, upper 90s. We go into Sunday, 20% chance for an isolated storm, high of 98. Monday, Memorial Day, 40%. 95, and then here's kind of the extent of our little cool down as we go to Tuesday and Wednesday. Again, the system coming in Monday is a cold front, a decent one for this time of the year. So small rain and storm chances, a little bit more cloud cover around, and a slightly cooler wind direction. That should be enough to drop us at least into the 80s. Honestly, I've kept these numbers pretty high. We have some models saying maybe it's low to mid 80s instead of mid to upper 80s for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. But either way, I think it's going to be noticeably cooler relative to where we are right now. And hopefully we get some of those rain chances again. We need rain. I know it's a little problematic on Memorial Day, not trying to cancel outdoor plans, but I just want to give you guys an early heads up. So that is what we are tracking. We appreciate, as always, everybody joining us here on KVU Plus and YouTube Live for our nightly extended update on the forecast. If anybody's new here, we do this at 7 p.m., roughly 7 p.m. I try to be as timely as I can. Roughly 7 p.m. every single night. And we try to do 3 of these live streams every day here on KVU, so we try to keep you updated with the nitty-gritty and the forecast as much as we can. All right, we'll take a quick 3-hour break, and the next update from me will be KVU News at 10 o'clock. Y'all have a good rest of your evening. We'll talk to you at 10.